Welcome to the deep dive. You sent us a really interesting video this time. It's called Passive Income: How I Started Dropshipping from Scratch, Step by Step by Mark Tilbury. And, if you're interested in cutting through the hype around passive income, e-commerce, and just getting a real sense of what's involved, right?
Yeah,
Without all the heavy jargon.
exactly. Yeah.
So that's our deep dive today. We're going to unpack this step-by-step experiment, figure out the key lessons, and see what it really takes to get a drop shipping store going with, basically free tools.
Yeah, it's fascinating because this YouTuber, he tried to build a whole dropshipping store aiming for profit with basically no money under $1, actually,
Right.
and relying heavily on free AI tools.
Under $1. Wow.
Yeah. So we're going to follow his whole journey, from the very beginning, setting it up all the way to getting those first sales, just to see, is this feasible? What are the hurdles?
Right. So the big hook is, can you genuinely build an online store that might actually make money with less than $1 and, AI helping out?
That's the question.
Let's see what this experiment really shows about that whole drop shipping dream. Okay, let's dig in. So the rules he set himself were pretty strict, weren't they?
Yeah, very. Under $1 budget, using free AI mainly, all done on a laptop, and supposedly in under an hour.
Under an hour, too. That's ambitious.
Definitely ambitious. So first off, he had to find a free AI tool that could actually build a Shopify store. You pick one called Build Your Store.
Okay.
And the claim was, it doesn't just build the store, but it helps you sell stuff without ever having to handle inventory yourself, which is the core of drop shipping.
Right. The supplier ships it directly, you take the difference.
Exactly. You make the profit margin without touching the stock.
So step one was basically setting up a Shopify account, but doing it through this Build Your Store platform.
Correct. Yeah. Standard stuff, first name, email, password. But then came a pretty big decision. The niche.
Oh, yes. The niche. Always important.
He had options like fashion, pets, that kind of thing. But instead of just picking something he liked, he actually thought strategically about it. Market size, what he already knew a bit about.
Makes sense.
And he landed on sports and fitness.
Okay. Why that one specifically?
Well, his reasoning seemed to be, it's a big market, and he had some connection through his son being into sports. He even made this funny comment about Gen Z meeting at running clubs now.
Maybe they do.
Who knows? But it pointed to, perceived demand there. And that's a key thing, right? It's not just what you like. It's finding that sweet spot between a big enough audience and something you understand, at least a little.
Totally. So niche chosen.
Yep.
Visuals, right? The website banners.
Yep. He had 6 options for banners, and he kind of went through them, thinking about who they'd appeal to.
Like too specific, maybe.
Exactly. Some felt too narrow, like only for one sport, or maybe the images weren't very inclusive. So he picked a couple that felt, a bit broader, more welcoming. First impressions count online.
Absolutely. Even with AI building it, those visuals matter. People click away fast.
For sure. His thinking seemed pretty solid there. Get banners that fit the niche, but appeal widely within it.
Okay, so banners picked, then the actual Shopify setup, free trial time.
Right. Click through from Build Your Store, put in his details, started the trial. Shopify asks those setup questions,
Yeah, like what are you selling? What's your revenue?
Right. But he kind of skipped those because the plan was for the AI to do the heavy lifting, save some time there.
Smart, if the AI works.
Then he selected the basic Shopify plan for after the trial. Said it seemed good for solo folks, most popular option. And he put in his payment details, standard procedure, but crucially, wasn't charged yet. Still under that $1.
Still cleaning to the budget. Nice.
Yeah. It's interesting, though, how he relied on the AI. He did say the Shopify dashboard looked pretty confusing.
Uh-huh.
So maybe even with AI, having a little bit of familiarity with the platform wouldn't hurt,
Yeah.
for anyone trying this.
Good point. Okay, Shopify accounts live, payment details in. Next was actually connecting the AI, right? Installing the Build Your Store app.
Yep. Click through again from their site, gave the app permission to connect to his new Shopify store, and then, supposedly, the AI just started building the store in the background.
Just like that.
Just like that. Still under $1. The process seemed smooth, linking the AI to Shopify. That's key if it's going to be efficient.
Right, minimizes the manual stuff. But the proof is in the pudding. How good is the store it actually builds?
Exactly. Quality customization. That's the real test.
Okay, so stores being built. Now, the really crucial part, finding products people actually want to buy. The winning products.
Yeah, this is make or break in e-commerce, isn't it, what you sell?
Mm-hmm.
He used another tool for this called AutoDS.
Auto DS. Okay, what does that do?
Basically, it uses sales data,
Hmm.
trends from different places online, to suggest products that are, likely to sell well, proven sellers.
Takes out some guesswork then.
That's the idea. And it also helps with pricing, getting decent product photos, and even arranging the direct shipping when orders come in.
So it handles quite a bit. How did he get started with Auto DS?
He signed up through the Build Your Store site again, used the same email to link everything up, and this is where the budget finally got touched.
Ah, the 99 cents.
Exactly. AutoDS had a 30-day trial for their starter 500 plan. Cost 99 cents. Seemed like a decent way to test it out. Paid via PayPal, and boom, budget spent.
Okay, so the $1 is gone, but he's got the store framework and a tool for finding products.
Right. It shows that while the very initial setup might be free, getting the tools you actually need to operate, like product sourcing, usually costs something, even if it's minimal to start.
Makes sense. All right, so store's built, product tool is ready. Time to see the results, right? Publish the store.
Yeah, back into Shopify, just untick the box so the password protects the site, and poof, it was live.
No reaction.
Surprisingly positive, actually. He seemed pretty pleased with the initial look.
Okay, that's promising.
Yeah, that feeling when it first goes live, it's a milestone.
Hmm.
But then you got to look closely, right? How does it actually function?
True. So what did he find when he looked closer?
Well, the banners he chose were in place. The AI had put in buttons linking to new arrivals, which is a nice little navigation touch.
Okay.
Then he looked at the products AutoDS had picked. There was a breathing trainer.
A breathing trainer? Interesting.
Yeah, he knew a bit about those, thought it had potential. Then these golf club bag clips,
Oh, yeah.
something he actually uses himself, so he saw the value.
Mm.
A resistance band, kind of standard fitness gear, probably a safe bet. And a warm jogging hat, which made sense for the season.
So a decent mix within the sports and fitness niche?
Seems like it. A mix of specific interest items like the breathing thing, practical problem solvers like the clips, and then generally popular stuff like the band or the hat. Suggests AutoDS tries to cover a few bases.
Did he look at adding more products?
He did. He peeked at the AutoDS marketplace where they list trending items, but he wisely said, don't just add random stuff. Keep it focused on the niche.
Good advice. A messy store is confusing.
Totally. But if he did want to add something, it looked easy enough. Click Import, tweak the details, publish it. Pretty straightforward.
Okay, let's zero in on one of those product pages. The golf clips, maybe. What did that look like?
Yeah, he checked that one out. Said the photos look professional, lots of different angles, which is super important when people can't touch the item right.
Absolutely critical. What about the money side? Price, profit.
The cost from AutoDS was $6.84. The suggested selling price was double that, $13.68, or maybe a bit more, aiming for that 2x, 2.5x markup you often see.
So potential profit of like $6.84 per sale before marketing, obviously.
Exactly, before any ad spend. Seems small maybe, but the idea is volume,
Yeah.
selling lots of them. And you can adjust that price, try to find the sweet spot.
Did he notice anything else on the page? Little details.
Yeah, he pointed out a subtle animation on the PayPal button. Said it can help build trust, make people feel more comfortable clicking buy.
Huh. Interesting psychological trick.
And the AI had written the product descriptions, put emojis in there too. He said that was a huge time saver.
I bet. Writing descriptions takes ages.
Plus, it had related product suggestions at the bottom. Standard upselling tactic, but effective. Overall, he felt the design was basic, yeah, but probably did the job.
So lots of little things adding up to make it seem functional. Professional photos, clear price, trust signals, descriptions done, upselling.
Right. Those details really matter for tuning visitors into customers. The AI handling the descriptions is a big plus for speed.
Now, you said he was surprised by something.
Yeah, the footer. He wasn't expecting much down there, but the AI had actually set up links to important pages. Shipping policy, terms, and conditions.
Wow, that's pretty good. Adds legitimacy.
Totally. Saves a ton of hassle setting up those basics. Really helps with looking professional and covering the legal stuff.
He did say she still needed to manually add his store name, address, contact info in there, though.
Right. The AI can't know everything.
Yeah.
Still impressive he got the structure there.
Definitely a plus. But there was one glaring issue making it look unprofessional.
Let me guess. The website address.
Bingo. That default Shopify domain name, just like random letters and numbers .shopify.com, doesn't exactly inspire confidence.
Nope. Looks temporary. Or even scammy sometimes.
So, back to the Build Your Store. AI he went. He wanted a proper domain, decided on a .store domain.
.store. Why specifically that?
He mentioned some claim that .store domains get more traffic, rank better on Google for actual shops. Whether that's true or not, I don't know, but that was the rationale.
Interesting angle. Did he have to pay for it?
Nope. Managed to get a free .store domain through the AI tool.
Free. Keeping the cost down still. What did he call it?
Tilbury Fitness? Bit of a laugh, maybe, but memorable enough. TilburyFitness.store.
Okay. Then he just had to go through the steps to connect that new domain to his Shopify store. So, problem solved. Looks much more legit now.
Definitely. A custom domain is pretty much essential for building any kind of brand trust. Huge step.
For sure. And getting it free via the AI tool fits right into that under $1 challenge.
Okay, so store looks better, custom domain, nearly ready for prime time.
Almost. He did a few final tweaks, filled in those footer details, store name, contact info, linked up social media accounts, just polishing the edges, you know.
Makes sense. Get everything looking tidy before you start sending people there.
Exactly. Then, promotion time, trying to actually get some sales.
The exciting part, how did he approach that?
Well, first, he actually waited a couple of days. He'd ordered some of the products himself to check the quality first.
Oh, smart move. Really important for dropshipping. You need to know what you're selling.
Absolutely. Can't just rely on the supplier's photos. Once he was happy with the quality, he decided on influencer marketing. Said he was inspired by brands like Gymshark.
Okay. Big budgets there, though.
Right. So instead of going for huge macro influencers, he targeted micro influencers.
People with smaller, maybe more engaged followings, like 10K to 50K followers.
Exactly that range. He mentioned some stats suggesting micro influencers often get way better engagement rates, maybe up to 60% higher, and better conversion rates too, like 20% higher sometimes.
Makes sense. Their audience might trust them more, feel more connected.
That's the theory. More bang for your buck, especially on a tight budget.
So who did he partner with?
A couple guys known as the Grace Brothers had about 145,000 Instagram followers, so maybe slightly above micro, but same principle.
Okay. And the plan?
Keep it simple to start. Just get them to do an Instagram story promoting one product, that breathing trainer. And crucially, include a direct link to buy it.
Just testing the waters with one product first? Smart? See if their audience bites?
Precisely. Don't blow the whole tiny budget until you know if it works.
Before the promo went live, did he say what he thought of the products he ordered? The quality check?
Yeah, he gave a quick rundown. Said the breathing trainer felt well made. The hat was decent, warm, woolly. The golf clips were actually better than the ones he already owned.
Oh, really? Nice.
And the resistance band was, a resistance band. Yeah. Reliable fitness staple. So overall, he seemed confident the quality was good enough for customers.
That's crucial. You don't want returns or bad reviews right out of the gate.
Definitely not. It protects the store's reputation.
Okay, so quality checked, influencers lined up. What was the promo video like?
He described the Grace Brothers video as pretty wacky, high energy, showed them using the breathing trainer, grabbing attention. Seemed like the kind of slightly off-the-wall style that works well for Instagram stories and probably fit their audience.
Right, gonna match the platform and influencers vibe.
For sure. And then the results. After 24 hours, the story had run its course.
The moment of truth. Did anyone buy?
Yes. 12 breathing trainers sold.
12, okay.
Now, he admitted 2 of those were his own test orders, just to make sure everything worked.
Fair enough. So 10 real customer sales.
10 genuine purchases, which, starting from 0 is pretty good.
Definitely proof of concept. What did that mean in terms of money? Revenue?
The revenue from those 10 sales was £134.20. He did a rough conversion, maybe around $170, $180 USD, something like that.
Okay, decent top-line number for a first try, but what about costs?
Right. Got to factor those in. The product cost averaged $3.95 each. So for 10, that's $39.50.
Okay.
Then he paid the Grace Brothers $50 for the promotion.
Right, the influencer fee.
And there was a $1 Shopify fee because his 3-day free trial had just ended.
Ah, the platform costs kick in. So total costs were $39.50 plus $50 plus $1. $90.50.
Exactly. $90.50 in total costs.
So revenue around $170, $80 plus $90.50. That leaves a profit.
It does, about $80.35 in profit.
$80 profit.
Yeah. Now look, $80 isn't going to make anyone retire.
No, but still.
But think about it. Minimal effort up front, mostly AI tools, started with literally $1 for the setup, plus $50 for marketing, and ended up $80 in the black after the first promotion.
That's actually pretty significant. Viewed like that, it worked.
It really did. It showed that this approach, Low barrier to entry, using these tools, it can generate actual profit.
And he talked about scaling it up, didn't he?
Yeah, he made that point.
Yeah.
Imagine promoting more products, maybe running more influencer campaigns if they keep working. That initial $80 could grow into something much more substantial over time.
Yeah, you can see the potential path from that first small win.
The scalability is the key idea for turning it from an experiment into a real business.
Okay, so let's wrap this up. Summing up the experiment. We saw someone try to build a dropshipping store from absolute scratch, using mostly free tools, almost no money down, and it actually made a profit initially.
Yeah, the powerful illustration. That whole passive income idea still takes upfront work, obviously. But this shows the barriers to just starting in e-commerce can be surprisingly low now, especially with AI helping out.
And for you, the listener, hopefully this gives a really concrete picture of how you could approach e-commerce without needing a huge pile of cash.
Yeah, exactly. Seeing how he leveraged those AI tools for the setup, for product ideas, and then that targeted micro-influencer strategy,
Hmm.
it maps out a practical path.
The aha moment is seeing those steps and the actual tangible result, even if it's a modest $80 profit to start. It's real.
It's real. It happened.
Right. Which leads us to a final thought to leave you with. This experiment was all about speed and minimum cost, right?
Yep.
Under $1, under an hour for setup.
Mm-hmm.
But what if the approach was slightly different? What if he'd started with, say, a few $100s instead of one? Could more targeted marketing right away, or maybe more investment in branding and the website's look and feel, have led to much bigger initial results?
That's the interesting question, isn't it?
It makes you wonder how these small first steps, like the ones we saw here, could be the launching pad for something much, much bigger down the line. Something to think about.